Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an exciting update on the progress of the much anticipated Build 42. We're going to dive into what is happening behind the scenes, where the development team is at right now, and what you can expect in the coming weeks. So let's get started. First off, the team is deep in the trenches, fixing and polishing the current internal build. They are getting ready for a more formal round of internal testing with a slightly wider group of gameplay testers. Now there are still a few pieces from the crafting revamp that need to be added, along with some optimization work, but overall the build is pretty much feature complete. The focus from here on out is mainly on bug fixing, balancing, and gearing up for an internal closed beta test. This is all in preparation for the unstable release. Now I know you're all eager to know when the unstable build will drop. Sadly, there is no set date yet. It all depends on how many serious bugs are left and what feedback comes in from the closed testing group, especially concerning the big changes to crafting. The devs are aware that there are still some elements in Build 42 that just aren't fun, and there are a few major issues they are working on eliminating. While the first unstable beta doesn't need to be perfect, it does need to be enjoyable, balanced, and free from any game-breaking bugs. After all, first impressions are everything, especially considering how long we've all been waiting for this. Now there's always a chance that the build could be a hit with the closed testing group, with only minor issues to fix, but there's also the possibility that some new systems might be confusing or frustrating, which could mean going back to make things smoother and more intuitive. So where are we at right now? The devs have pretty much wrapped up the major features for Build 42, but there are still a few crafting elements on the way. However, the current tester build isn't without its quirks. This week, they have been dealing with some wild bugs like endless explosions in deer and bunny populations.
Oh shit.
Out-of-memory issues, and some combat irregularities. These things need to be cleaned up before we move forward. Despite the anticipation, the team is committed to delivering a quality product. They are taking the testers' feedback seriously and are prepared to invest more time if necessary to address any major concerns or bugs. So while it's not coming out imminently, there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is getting brighter. With such a huge update on the way, almost every existing mod is going to be affected. It's unlikely that any mod will work right out of the box. But don't worry, there's some good news too. The developers have introduced a new modding architecture inspired in RimWorld. This new system will help ease the transition for modders. Let me break it down for you. In Build 41, mods use the root directory of the workshop files to overwrite the game's core data. But in Build 42, the game will now query the mod for a subdirectory containing the most recent compatible version of the mod. So if you're running version 42.1, it'll load the 42 directory of the mod, and so on. This new system also introduces a common directory, which is used to store large files like art or sounds. This way, modders won't need to duplicate these files across multiple versions of their mod. Now, here's what this means for you. When modders update their mods for Build 42, they can keep their Build 41 files intact and continue to support Build 41 content. At the same time, they'll be able to support Build 42 beta without breaking compatibility with Build 41 stable. According to the devs, the new system gives modders more flexibility to update their mods without causing issues with older builds, and also makes creating submods and mod packs a lot easier. Now, because of these changes, plan is to automatically disable all mods on first load.
Vala Morgulis.
Vala Morgulis.
And this is necessary to avoid a flood of bug reports from people trying to load outdated mods and breaking their game. In other news, the unstable beta of Build 42 will initially be released with multiplayer disabled. Now, this might disappoint some of you, but there's a good reason for it. By focusing on single player, the team can tackle issues in more manageable chunks without getting overwhelmed by a flood of bug reports. Plus, this gives the multiplayer team some extra time to polish things up. A lot has changed under the hood to make multiplayer better, especially when it comes to security and stability. The devs have implemented numerous anti-cheat measures to make the game more secure against cheaters. On top of that, there have been major optimizations to reduce lag, improve zombie movement, and eliminate issues like rubber banding. Have you ever wondered what would you do if you found yourself in a real-life zombie apocalypse? Would you blend in with the crowd, or would you stand out as a Hika survivor? If you chose the latter, I've got exciting news for you. This knife is built to handle any survival tasks. It's a full-time fixed blade, meaning the steel runs from end to end, ensuring maximum strength and durability. Made from high carbon steel, this knife makes chopping, battoning, and creating bonfires a breeze. Unlike the knives in Project Zomboid, the Castle Forge survival knife can even open cans of food. Whether you're prepping for extreme conditions, camping, hiking, or gearing up for a potential zombie apocalypse, the Castle Forge survival knife is your trusty tool. Check out the links in the description below to get yours today. Now let's get back into the video. Now we're going to talk about animal trackers. Last time, we talked about how the devs weren't happy with the predefined permanent paths that deer and other animals would follow. This fixed route made the wildlife a bit too predictable and took away from the immersion. But now, there's a big change. The team has introduced randomized animal paths. These paths are generated based on the seed you use when you create a world. So while they are static in that they don't change once your game has started, they are dynamic in the sense that you'll never know where the deer will go in a new world. Previously, only drunk players had a chance of falling when climbing a cheat rope. But now, things are changing. In Build 42, any player can fall when climbing a cheat rope to higher floors. Here's how it works. Your chance to fall is influenced by a few key factors: your negative modals like strength, fitness, and nimble, as well as traits like dexterous or gymnast, and certain professions like bugler. So if you're not careful, you might just find yourself in a bit of a free fall. But that's not all. Your character will also accumulate muscle strain if you spend too much time climbing ropes without taking a break. And while the chance of falling while descending is smaller, it is still something to keep in mind. The good news is, if you're not a fan of this new system, you can toggle it off in the sandbox mode. Finally, the developers have given us a quick video compilation of a recent in-game weapon testing featuring all familiars, but also a bunch of the new weapons available in Build 42. Let me know in the comments which one you recognize. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, happy surviving. Bye bye.
You